Moving on to the next paragraph. The grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. When the priest they used to teach the alphabets and morning prayers to the student in the veranda, she used to sit in the temple and read. The grandmother used to sit inside the reading the scriptures. Scriptures I told you this is the holy books like Ramayana, Gita and all that. When we both finished, she used to finish her reading and we used to get the education. We would walk back home together. At this time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home. Why? Because the grandmother used to throw them the chapatis. They growl, they fight with each other for those chapatis we throw to them. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. Sent for means they called us there. That was a turning point. And another line, why? Because there was a change in their lifestyle. Now the grandmother was no more able to accompany the child to the school as I used to go to an English medium school in a school bus. There were no dogs in the street, and she took to feeding the sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. As the years rolled by, and the time was passing away by, we saw very less of each other because the child was very much busy in the education. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready in the school. When they shifted to city, this was the routine. In the beginning, she used to get him ready for the school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me, but she was not able to help me in my education because she can't understand anything of English, Western science, and all that. I would tell the English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, and the world being around, etc. This made her unhappy. Why? Because she was not able to help the child in the study. She could not help me with my lesson. She did not believe in the things they taught at the school, English school, and was distressed and was very disturbed, sad, annoyed that there was no teaching about the God and scriptures. They don't teach anything about God or holy books. One day I announced that we were being given the music lesson. Obviously, in the English medium school, music is also taught. She was very disturbed to her because music had a very lewd, very low association. It was a monopoly of harlots and beggars, those who just sing and get their earning, their livelihood by singing, or the beggars, and not for meant for the gentle folk. It's not for the respected people. She said nothing. This was her style to disapprove, but her silence meant disapproval. She stopped talking to me. She rarely talked to me after that. This shows she didn't agree with what was being taught at the school. When I went up to the university, now the child grew up. He went to the university for further studies. I was given the room of my own because now child needs a privacy. He was given a separate room. The common link of the friendship was snapped. What was the common link? The link was the room which they were still sharing, but now they were separated. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. Without saying anything, she accepted this. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. She was all the time busy in spinning the wheel. Right from morning, sunrise to the sunset, she sat by her wheel and reciting the prayers. She is all the time lost in the prayers, spinning the wheel. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while, and that too only to feed the sparrow, not to sleep or take rest, only to feed the sparrow while she sat in the veranda breaking the bread into the little bits. Hundreds of little birds collected around her, creating a veritable, a variety of bad lump of chirping, variety of different type of chirping. Some came and perched. Perched means sat on her legs and others on her shoulder. Some even sat on her head. She smiled but never shooed them away, never just tried to fly them away. It used to be the happiest half an hour of the day for her because at that moment she was in the company of her best friends and they were the sparrows. When I decided to go abroad for further studies after completing the college or university, I decided to go abroad for further studies, Krishna Singh said, and I was sure my grandmother would be upset because she was so much attached with the child. I would be away for 5 years. He was going abroad for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell. Tell what? That when I will come back after 5 years, she will be alive or not. But my grandmother could. She was firm. She knew it. She was not even sentimental. She came to leave me at the railway station. Up to where she can come, she came to see me off, but did not talk or show me any emotion. Didn't say anything. her lips moved in the prayer. She was lost in the prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy in telling the beads of her rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, just blessed me. And when I left the place, I cherished, I felt, I enjoyed the most imprint, a moist imprint, as perhaps the last consign of physical contact between us. When she kissed me on my forehead, I felt that this was perhaps the last physical contact, because when I will come back after 5 years, maybe she would not be there. But that was not so. It was not the case. After 5 years, I came back home and was met by her at the station. She was there to receive me. She did not look a day older. I was surprised. I have come back after 5 years. She was looking the same. As still, she had no time for words. She had no time to talk to anyone. And while she clasped me in her arm, when she embraced me, I could hear her reciting her prayers. In whispering, I could listen that she was praying. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows, whom she fed longer and with fabulous rebuke. Fabulous rebuke means when you scold somebody but with love, किसी को प्यार से डांटना. इन द इवनिंग अ चेंज केम ओवर हर. शी डिड नॉट प्रे. आई वॉज सरप्राइज. इन द लास्ट सो मेनी ईयर्स दिस वॉज द फर्स्ट डे आई सॉ शी डिड नॉट प्रे. What she did, she collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum and started to sing. For several hours she thumped. She just beat the sagged skins, the dry skins of that dilapidated drum, that old drum, and sang of the homecoming of the warrior. She was singing as if she was just welcoming a warrior, homecoming of the warrior who has come home after so many years. She was singing and celebrating like this. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. The next morning she was taken ill. She fell ill. It was mild fever and the doctor said that it would go, but my grandmother thought differently. Now she knew. She told us that her end was near, and she told that since only a few hours before she is very close to her death, to the last chapter of her life, she had omitted her prayer. She is going to die and she didn't pray. She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. We protested. We tried to make her understand it's not so, you will be alright. But she ignored our protest. She lay peacefully in the bed praying and telling her beads. Even before we could suspect, we couldn't guess it, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. That means she was no more. She died. A peaceful pallor spread on her face and we knew that she was dead. After we left her off the bed, and as it is the custom, the dead body should be laid her on the ground and covered her with a red sheet, with a red cover. After a few hours of mourning, after feeling sorry for her for a few hours, we left alone to make arrangement for her funeral. Now we were to go out to make the arrangements for the funeral. In the evening, we went to her room. When we came back with a crude stretcher, which we called Arthi, to take her to be cremated, so that he should be taken to the cremation ground, the sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. It was the evening time. We stopped halfway in the courtyard. Why? Because all over the veranda and in her room, up to where she was lying dead, wrapped in a red sheet, thousands of sparrows were sitting. They scattered on the floor. There was no chirping. You can imagine. Thousand sparrows were there, but there was no noise at all. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. She broke it into the little crumbs, just as my grandmother used to do, and threw it to them. But it was a surprise for all. Sparrows took no notice of the bread. When we carried my grandmother's corpse means dead body, off, they flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweepers swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. This shows that the birds are also sensitive. The birds have come here to feel sorry over the death of the friend who were not there to get the food. So that's all about the chapter A Portrait of a Lady. Now I would like to say why I told you yesterday that the chapter should be better titled by the pen portrait of a lady, because the writer here used so beautiful words to explain the grandmother that after going through the chapter you feel that you can see the grandmother at every step, at every moment in the chapter standing in front of you. You can imagine every scene created by the writer. So it should be better titled The Pen Portrait of a Lady. That's all about the chapter.